Hello and welcome to another video. So in today's video, we are going to have a look at flywheels. What this is and how we can use this in our own businesses, right? And make our businesses better. So really what I'm trying to show you guys here is that flywheels are the key to exponential growth, all right? And basically all a flywheel is, it's something, okay, where we have something here in the middle and we're sending it around this wheel in an ever-fulfilling cycle of exponential growth, if that makes sense. As we enter something in over here, all right, they go through another process, and it keeps on building up upon itself, right? It's kind of like a feedback loop. And each time it goes around the circle or this wheel, it gets faster and faster and faster and faster. And really, when we're starting a business, right, it's kind of like you standing behind a giant train, okay, and you trying to get this thing to budge just like 1 inch, right? So you have this big object over here. I'm not going to try and draw a train. I mean, let's go. Okay, you have this big train and it has a bunch of cars attached to it, and you're standing behind it, and really what you're doing is you're pushing this thing and you're trying to get it to move just 1 inch, okay, 1 inch. And you know that when you get it to move that 1 inch, it is going to get momentum. It's going to gain momentum, and the momentum is going to kind of like build up upon itself, right? And really, like I say, this is the key to exponential growth. Really, in business, most people see growth this way, and let's clear off some of this over here. But in business, most people think that business growth is linear, something like that. Okay, so what they kind of expect is they expect to come in here. Let's say they're making like 10K per month, and maybe they have let's say 5 clients. So logic would then kind of dictate that if they doubled their clients and they went to 10 clients, they would then get to 20K. So although this is okay in the beginning of business, right, this is kind of normal. What you find happen is that as time kind of goes on and you say, okay, fine, like I don't want to make 20K a month, I want to make 30K. And you think, okay, fine, like I want to increase my clients. And you go to kind of like, let's say 20 clients, but you kind of like, okay, let's carry on drawing it down to move this up a bit, right? What you find is you increasing your clients, okay, but you're not getting the same results anymore. Okay, you increased by 20 clients, but actually you're not getting 20K, you're getting 25K, and your results are kind of less. And then you try and double it again, right? So you go from 20 to like 40. Okay, so now you have more clients, and what you find is that the results you're getting, okay, are like, let's say 28. And sometimes this could even be less, right? So actual fact, the more time you're putting into something, the less your results you're getting your client, okay? And the less they're seeing feedback, and the worse of a user experience they're getting. And it doesn't matter how many times you double the amount of clients, you actually get to a point where you start seeing this. And yes, you have like this growth up till here, and then your growth kind of starts to taper off like that. Okay, maybe I should do that in a different color so you can see it better. But this is really what happens. And instead of you having this exponential or this linear growth, which you're kind of expecting, your growth is going to kind of come down and then decline, kind of this way. And this is not what you want to see in business. This is like the worst case scenario. But when you implement a flywheel, okay, that builds upon itself, you start seeing this hockey shaped growth curve, like you do with most businesses like Amazon and let's see, Facebook, Instagram, Uber, Airbnb, formerly Twitter but now X, and Tesla, and all of these places. They kind of have this like exponential growth curve, and it looks like a hockey stick, and it looks very beautiful. Well, a few years ago, Jeff Bezos, in the early 2000s, right, he was really kind of like, let's say, I don't want to say struggling, but he was kind of like trying to identify how he can get, let's say, more money in for his business, right? And he sat down with a bunch of his colleagues, as far as I understand, and he wrote this or drew this sketch on a piece of paper. But essentially what he was saying is, he said, here's Amazon, and they call this thing the growth flywheel, by the way. So okay, growth flywheel. And pretty much what he said is, he said, look, at the core of what we do is we have customer experience, right? Okay, we have customer experience. And if we want to give customers really good experience, like, what do they want? And he kind of said, okay, well, look, like, if we want to give customers a very good experience, we need to give them a bigger selection, okay, of goods, because the customer will have a better experience if they're able to come to our website and they're able to select more goods and get more goods. And he said, okay, fine. Well, if clients have got a better selection and they've got a better user experience, then there should be more traffic. Okay, there should be more people talking about Amazon, right? There should be more people going out there and saying, hey, there's this really cool place, and it's like right now it's known as the everything store, right? You can go on there and you can get anything. And he said, but in order to achieve that goal, we would need to have more people come and visit our marketplace. Okay, marketplace. And really what we need is, we need more sellers. So we need to open up our marketplace to more people, to third-party sellers, so that they can come and sell their stuff here to increase the selection that's on our store, driving a better user experience, customer experience, and leading to more traffic. And then that leads to more people wanting to come back to the marketplace and buy. And when more people are buying on the marketplace, that leads to more sellers, right? So more consumers buying leads to more sellers. And really what Amazon achieved here is something amazing. This is how they had this exponential growth, because it kind of built upon itself, right? So it got better and better and better and better. And then that's not where it ends, right? Amazon took this even further, and they said, okay, fine, let's do it in another color. If we've got this growth flywheel over here, and really what this is basically doing is, by having more people over here in our store, this is going to drive down our costs. So they kind of like created a new like synergistic flywheel according to this, right? So they lowered, okay, the infrastructure cost. Okay, they kind of lowered the infrastructure cost. So this happened. It kind of built upon it in on itself. And when they did that, they were able to lower their prices. Okay, and really, like, Jeff Bezos is like this crazy guy who is able to outlive his competitors, and he was really able to do that because the guy really had access to a lot of cash. So when he went underwater, he could hold his breath a lot longer than anyone else, because he had by definition fuller tanks, breathing tanks, and the tanks in this case is money. And obviously, as you can see, the first growth flywheel over here, because they were making so much money from this growth flywheel, that lowered the infrastructure costs, lowered their prices, and then through that they were able to create AWS, Amazon Web Store, right? And this had its own flywheel. They had IoT, or let's say developer tools, and then they had devices, and then they had they had some more stuff over here. They had some, they had the infrastructure, and then they scaled, and then they were able to lower the costs again. And they kind of have another flywheel over here, right? And then what they did is they took it even further and they bolted on, another flywheel. Let's see if we can do this in a different color. It's doing in red for now. But I mean, they had their own, like, let's say they devices that you're able to plug into your TV and have around your house, like this Alexa and stuff like that, right? So they kind of had their own, like, Alexa type devices, okay, that they created. And now that led to a better customer experience. And that led to more traffic and led to, them being able to make more money and then lower their prices on their devices and stuff. But not only did that like happen there, it kind of like fed in over here, right? So the IoT guys developed some more tools for the Alexa. And do you see how this kind of builds up on itself, right? So yeah, you have multiple flywheels, and you have this business that was able to achieve exponential growth because of that. When most people think business, they think about funnels. We'll get to that in a second, okay? But most people, think funnels, and these things exist in business, and you can't kind of like, avoid them. Funnels are a thing, and it's usually divided between, you have like marketing, and you have sales, okay? It's like a split, and then usually it's like three sections. You have like, your top of the funnel, you have your middle of funnel, and then you have your bottom of funnel over here, right? And then you have your success at the end. And the goal is to kind of like get people over here, jam them down into your funnel, jam them even further down into your funnel, and then, that's pretty much it, right? You get them to purchase and they go. But a flywheel is not like that. You want to keep the people in the loop, and you want to keep them coming back and back and back. And really, like I say, Amazon didn't just have funnels. Every business has a funnel. You've got people out there who don't know about you, and then they come and they find out about you, and then eventually they purchase. And honestly, like, when I say exponential growth, I mean exponential growth. Like back in 2001, Amazon had, like, let's say, 5 billion, okay? And in 2024, these guys are up here at like, I don't know, 1.88 trillion, This is what we see. Exponential growth. And that's obviously what everyone wants to see. So let's look at the difference between a sales funnel and a flywheel. So you can just kind of like bring this home. So a sales funnel is all about awareness and conversion. That's it, right? We're making someone aware, and then we're converting them into a paying customer or client. And then the flywheel is centered around customers' needs. Okay, so in a sales funnel, conversion is the end goal. There's a split between marketing and sales. And I'm going to kind of like do this, right? This is not what we want. We don't want a split between marketing and sales, okay? And where the customer is just the output at the end. We don't want this either. What we do want though, okay, we do want ongoing customer experience. This is all about teamwork, and the customer is the input at the center, right? So we're building it around really at the customer. So in other words, with the sales funnel, we attract, we engage, and we convert. And with a flywheel, we attract, we engage, and we delight, and we keep delighting, and it builds upon itself, right? In this ever fulfilling cycle. This is also feedback loops, right? This is natural law, okay? No man is above natural law. First thing, no man is above natural law. So you can always use this to your experience, to your advantage. But you also don't only have like this, you have positive. You also have two types of flywheels. You have a positive flywheel, and then you have a negative flywheel. And a negative flywheel, every business kind of like that is just centered around themselves. You have this with coaches, service-based businesses, product-based businesses and stuff. You have like your company, yeah. And this is like the anti-flywheel. Yeah, handwriting is not that great today, but it's fine. And let's move this down. Okay, because you only have so much time. Let's start here, right? We have time. We have, the more time. Okay, let's explain it like this, right? Because it's an anti-flywheel, let's do it in red. We only have a finite amount of time, okay? 24 hours in a day. Everyone is, bound by that law. We only have 24 hours in a day. The more time we spend on a client, okay, the better results they get, obviously, in a proper flywheel. But now what happens is, we have, going back up here, when we decide that we want to kind of like add more clients, okay, so that we can kind of get, the beginning part of our exponential growth curve going. With the more clients we take on, okay, in a service-based business or a consulting-based business or a coaching-based business, the less we can spend. So like we have less client attention, okay? And when our client is getting less attention, they're getting worse results. And when they're getting worse results, they have a worse experience. And when they have a worse experience, news spreads and we get less clients or customers, and then it kind of like builds in on itself in this negative feedback loop, right? So it's negative. So you have this anti-flywheel as well that people build into their organizations because they think that they can add more people. When they add more people, they have less time per person to spend on their clients, and then they get worse results and they have a worse experience, and then you get less customers. Then that leads to, when you have less customers, you need to spend more time. So the customers that you do have, like let's say you have like 10, and now you have to spend less time with them because you have to bring that up to like 20, and then they get this 10 is getting less attention and their results go down, and then you lose more customers, and then you think, okay, fine, I need to bring that up to like 30, and now you're spending less time on this group over here, and this is also why this one's bad, right? So you don't want to fall into the trap of having an anti flywheel, and we really get anti flywheels when conversion is kind of like the end goal as well, right? We don't want to spend time on our customer and getting them more results. And when we get them more results, they tell someone else, and then, and so forth, and so on and so forth. And really, this is what we want to build into our businesses. This is how important flywheels are. And, Jeff Bezos, when he came up with this thing or this concept or this idea, he really knew what he was talking about, right? So that has been it for this video. I hope it makes sense. I hope that you can understand why flywheels are super important, and why it's important to build flywheels into your business and not just focus on funnels. Funnels are great. Funnels exist without you wanting them to be there. They kind of have to exist for you to make money, so they're just there, okay? But really, if you want to see exponential growth like this over here, and you can do that, so great. Yes, you have an anti-flywheel if you've got a coaching-based business. So what do you do to see this exponential growth curve over here? Well, you can start doing courses, right? Because you can then focus on the courses. If you created like a community or a course or whatever, then basically over here, this is what would happen, right? You would have more people talking about your thing. They'd be getting results. You're able to clone yourself on autopilot, right? You're able to, let's say you're spending less time, okay, on servicing clients and more time on improving your product. And then when you improve your product, that leads to, customers getting better results, because now, they're able to focus on the content, and you are able to focus on giving them attention in the form of Q&As and coaching calls and so on and so forth. That will lead to them getting more results. They'll have a better experience. You'll get more customers because they're saying, hey, look, this guy really knows what he's talking about. Go through his course. You can chat to him, have a weekly Q&A in his community and stuff. And then, that leads to you, getting some feedback and then spending more time on improving your product again. And when your product improves, your clients have a better experience, they get better results, then that leads to more traffic and more customers and so on and so forth. So you can build this really into your existing business as well. So just, you need to be a bit more, you need to use your imagination a bit. So that has been it for this video. I hope it makes sense, and I will catch you in another video. Till then, let me know what you think down below, and we will see each other soon. Bye-bye.